Montgomery and Brady to jump it up. Away we go in KC. Winner moves on to the Elite Eight, and Houston controls the tip.
Straight up man-to-man is what you'll see most of the time from Kentucky in this one.
Houston impressive in the victory over Ohio State in Tulsa in the second round. Corey Davis, wraparound pass. Robinson doesn't take the J. Shot clock is down to 9. That's a deep one. Brooks hits it from Missouri.
Off we go in the nightcap.
Armani Brooks, a 39% three-point shooter, gets the scoring started.
We're going to be very interested to see how Houston comes out in this first 4 or 5 minutes of this game.
Jab step, Hero, the flip is there.
And that's going to be an interesting matchup also. Hero having a fabulous season as a young player for this Kentucky team. Actually has really improved at the defensive end, but he could be probably one of the best shooters on the floor tonight.
And his defense was on display against Wofford, handling Fletcher McGee. A toss away by Robinson, trying to hit Davis in the corner. So how good is this Houston team defensively? They're among the best in the nation. They allow their opponents to score 61 points per game. The shooting numbers, #1 opponent field goal percentage, #1 opponent three-point percentage.
And I think part of this is going to be whether they stay with that or not is how well they get Robinson on Higgins.
Inside, Keldon Johnson. The versatility of Johnson, he's played some of that power forward spot in the absence of Reed Travis down the stretch of the season.
Yeah, with their 2 other bigs on the floor, they can allow him to do that. Nice work here out front by Hero.
Davis scoops it up, plenty of time on the shot clock. Robinson makes his move. White looking for help, 8 to shoot.
So far, the man-to-man fairly stifling at the perimeter.
Robinson's going to have to make it happen, and does with a scoop. Missed it. Rebound knocked around, controlled by Montgomery. Higgins will push, tried the crossover, and turns it over. By himself, Robinson will go upstairs and flip it home.
Yeah, that ball, I think, kicked off a foot to trigger it going the other way in a hurry for Houston.
5-4 lead for the Cougars.
They pride themselves in this defensively, as we just touched on. Right up chest to chest. They missed Montgomery down low.
Ray Travis didn't see him off the double team, but a foul called on Houston.
It goes the other way, hits the foot of someone in the traffic just then, and he'll take this all night long if they can get it, the easy deuce.
Foul called on Fabian White Jr.
Watch Johnson on the dump down here, a little screen, there it is.
Johnson steps up. Missed it, too strong on a 3, tracked down by Montgomery.
And just a simple set to get him an out-of-bounds jump shot from the right corner.
Higgins goes behind the back. Nice look inside, they converge on Travis. Montgomery on a kick. Johnson from the other side, rims out. And the rebound snared by Robinson. And it's going the other way as he got bumped by Higgins. Watch every game live on your phone, tablet, computer, and favorite streaming device with March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today. 5-4, Houston in front. Best winning percentage in the country. Houston is 33-3. Davis gives it up, the roll to the rim. And Brady lost it. Johnson, nice look. Travis! Big finish.
And one of the things that Kentucky does so well when they get it, Higgins will generally get the ball in his hand and trigger the offense going down. Wouldn't be surprised to see them used to get Brady a touch or two. Here he is on the blocks. I think you have to give it to him. He's lefty, nice double team.
Wide body, 6'8", 260, gives it up. Timer down to 10. Robinson crosses on Higgins, gets around him to the rim and slips it in.
About 12 feet away, he had to slow down just a touch to make sure he had a path to the basket. Couldn't break down against Higgins out front.
Last year, Kentucky lost in the Sweet 16, 61-58 to Kansas State. Both teams open up 3 of 5 from the field.
Here, there's the pull-up. He's good at that. Nope, well defended.
Davis cut off the angle. Johnson does it inside. Travis, very active. He got hacked.
Yeah, Brady's bunt. You're really bouncing him around down low. So here comes Johnson. Oh, the nice little finish there. Travis running the floor. And Houston, here's that delay just to get through the middle of the floor. Nobody steps across. The two bigs kind of just split to allow an easy shot there by Houston down the middle of the floor. You'll see them close that off, forcing it to the outside.
Brady sits. Bryson Gresham is in. Kelvin Sampson will rotate his bigs with Brady, Gresham, and Chris Harris Jr.
Gresham averages just under 4 points, but he's had 18 tournament points in 2 games already, so he's been playing well.
Emmanuel quickly is in, replacing Ashton Higgins. Shot clock is down to 6. Hero peeks at the clock with 4.
He's going to have to go.
Hero, pull up. Off the rim, long rebound to Keldon Johnson.
Boy, interesting enough, all the Houston players ran underneath the basket just then.
Johnson trying to walk a tightrope on the baseline, and he was forced out.
Yeah, I think it was Brooks who gave him a little shove along that baseline.
Now we'll get a timeout. Good action early. Foul on Houston.
Let's see if they go to him early in the post, too, to get him untracked.
Higgins is back in. He's playing with quickly in the backcourt. Hero stripped to the ball. Houston is running.
Yep, 4 on 2.
Brooks, a pull-up. Missed it. Too strong. Hero the board.
The old 4 on 2 layup, huh? Different type of game.
Get into a set quickly here with Hero. Kentucky is 3 of 3 on 2-point tries, 0 of 3 from 3-point territory. Travis whips it to the outside.
There's the initial post up.
Washington scores.
Well, you're going to hear the Kentucky fans in this building.
And a smile there from P.J. Washington. That is a sight for sore eyes if you're a Wildcat fan. Big Blue Nation has been waiting for P.J. Washington to come back and be a part of this NCAA tournament.
Yeah, well, they know with him healthy, they can make a good run for an NCAA championship. Oh, there's a foul.
Slide play by Davis, and he'll go to the free throw line.
So a little bit of a reverse here. You see him setting himself up. Now he just glides into position. He loves to go to that right side, little right jump hook. He'll do that from the left side also on the post. It looked like he was being bothered by anything with the legs.
Now, his attitude throughout has been tremendous. And Jamie Erdahl chatted with him last week in Jacksonville, talked to him again yesterday. And it's a difficult situation because it's such a mystery. The doctors cleared him. It really was up to him at that point how much of the pain he could handle.
Yeah, and as we touched on at the beginning of the broadcast, he didn't really do a whole lot yesterday in practice. So running up and down the floor, it'll be interesting to see how John Calipari spaces out his minutes. Does he go with them 3, 4, 5 minutes at a time? He'll definitely ask Washington how he's feeling for sure.
Jamal Baker is in for Kentucky. Played very well in the first 2 rounds for the Wildcats.
High percentage of his shots are 3-point shots also.
Higgins using the screen from Washington. Shot clock down to 5. Quickly spins, tries to create, does hit the rim, and it's rebounded by Davis.
Watch Robinson go. He's quick with the basketball.
Robinson doesn't take the 3.
Yeah, Davis may have gotten away with a half a step too much that one.
Davis pulls the trigger. Short. Quickly the board.
Both of these teams like to push it.
Travis, double team come.
Oh, that was a throwdown by Washington.
And he was caught. Jeff Clark was on top of it.
If it's easy to call from over here, you know the officials are going to catch it. He's got a little guy down below. Now watch this big swing right there, getting him off his arm. It wasn't as bad as it looked, but it was the right call.
Tied at 8, 13:47 to go in this first half. 27th all-time Sweet 16 for the Wildcats. It has been 35 years since Houston has been at this stage of the tournament. Cedric Alley Jr. is in for the Cougars.
Yeah, I was just thinking, he's being guarded by Washington. You get an isolation on him, not a bad time to run one at him.
Catch and shoot. Nice looking stroke, Armani Brooks.
One of the things that Sampson and Houston does so well is they space the floor, Ian. He's learned so much from his years as an NBA assistant coach, learning some different dynamics of spacing the floor. Really works well with him for his Houston club.
He told us it changes whole perspective. pull-up from Johnson.
Good effort there just then by Higgins, almost getting a strip.
6 points early for Keldon Johnson. We're tied at 10. Robinson makes the cut. Couldn't finish it.
Yep, good play by Washington. Straight up. No hands coming down. Well defended.
All of Kentucky's points have come in the paint. Washington is asking for it against Brooks.
Brooks at 6'3", not a bad idea. Here it goes.
Higgins on the lob.
Nice
denial. Armani Brooks the steal. That's 4 Kentucky turnovers.
Brooks has some good hops. He's got length with his arms iron. Tough guy to lob over.
Galen Robinson Jr. He's been a part of 101 wins at Houston. Bounce it for Allen.
He doesn't look to score much.
Brooks, contested shot. It grazes the rim. And tracked down in the corner by Higgins.
5 substitutes waiting to get in this game on the sideline, too. Pace, pretty good pace, even though the score isn't outrageous at 10-10.
Coming down low, Travis the catch, lost it for a moment. He's surrounded.
Good find. A little bump out front by
Higgins,
Davis.
hit by Corey Davis Jr. Not a shooting foul, though, with 11:42 to go in this first half. So is Nate Hinton.
Both of those guys, very talented players.
And Nick Richards in for Kentucky as Hero returns. So it's Richards and Montgomery up front.
They look for Richards sometimes on a lob to the basket, too. Now he's a release out front, but he'll strip to the middle of the floor.
Timer is down to 4. Higgins pulls up. Battle for the loose ball, and Montgomery was held. Let's check out the enhanced stats developed with Google Cloud. So Houston has led in 77% of the minutes played this season, the second highest out of all Division I teams. Right now they're dealing with some foul trouble. That's 5 team fouls, and the second on Fabian White Jr.
Yeah, that's where the size of Kentucky is going to play into this. At just about all the positions, they have size and length.
Chris Harris Jr. has checked it. We have a lot of juniors. Hero hangs, doesn't get the roll. Going upstairs for the rebound, Gresham. Dejan Giroux, transfer from UMass.
He's got a mismatch here with the taller Montgomery on him.
He's tricky with the ball. Giroux turns it over.
Good luck up
Hero
the court.
flips it ahead. Higgins lays it in. 12-10 lead for Kentucky.
Perfectly read, too, by Hero down the other end of the floor.
But a foul on Higgins. That is number 2 on the Kentucky point guard.
So here's Hero knowing exactly where that pass is supposed to go and turns the floor up, and a little lay-in by Higgins. That's a big foul early on in this game.
Higgins in that second half against Wofford in the second round did a great job getting to the paint and creating either for himself or his teammates. Giroux is fouled.
And he doesn't waste any time going after Quickly, who just came on the floor after the second foul. He understands that. A guy coming off the bench, a good time to take advantage. And that entire trip from about 15 feet away, he knew that he had him on his left hip, and he could take advantage of that drive to the basket.
Foul called on Quickly. Giroux shoots it at 69% at the free throw line. Wiry, athletic sophomore, 6'5", 185 from New Orleans.
See if John Calipari continues to establish some post play. One of the things he wanted to make sure was that his team does not post up too low underneath the basket, but gives himself 3 or 4 feet away from the basket to see if they can get some operating room.
Yeah, very high praise for Higgins, who's now on the bench. He said, he's changed who we are. He got in the gym, has shot it better, although it's not showing up necessarily in the games, but he creates so much based on his abilities going towards the rim. Johnson scoop shot, he's fouled. So the fouls piling up. There will be a new king in the East. Bleacher Report's original animated series, Game of Zones, returns for season 6 on Thursday, April 11th. Watch it on the BR app.
Yeah, 6 fouls for Houston, 5 for Kentucky.
Montgomery and Richards head to the bench for Kentucky. And P.J. Washington is back in with Travis.
Houston a little deeper with the bench than Kentucky is.
Emmanuel quickly. The freshman handling the point guard duties now for the Wildcats. Travis double team, a hard double.
And a push at the same time. Kelvin Sampson not happy at all on his sideline over there. So you know when they go to the bench or the post, a little double team right there, and it's just not much of a foul by Gresham just then.
And it's going to send Reed Travis to the free throw line. That is 17 fouls against Houston.
And that was relatively quick too, wasn't it? 10 minutes. More importantly, that's exactly now what Kentucky should do. They should establish the blocks as much as they can. Washington back on the floor. Reed Travis at the line. You'll see him on the blocks and exchanging with one another in terms of setting each other up with screens across the baseline.
Breon Brady is returned for Houston. 2-point lead for Kentucky.
Brady's a guy that want to get some touches down low too. They don't post it up all that much.
Giroux gives up his dribble.
Quickly not giving up anything on the defensive end from the point.
Hinton, freshman, missed it. Gang rebounding, Travis clears.
There he is, wide open.
Washington slams it down.
Now it's one thing to slam it down, Ian, but how fast did he get down the floor? I think that's even more important, that he's able to run and outrun guys who are supposed to be beating him down the floor. He stops, hesitates, but look where he finds a good spot to catch and deliver. That is a good sign for Kentucky.
And he stuck the landing.
He sure did.
And just gives him another dynamic offensively.
There's that post. Finally they get it. That's not a good pass out of the post, though.
Kentucky steals it away with quickly. Houston gets back defensively. They tried to get Breon Brady involved inside.
That's the frustration of coaching. You set up a play with after your timeout, and they throw a bad pass.
It's 14-4 in the paint in favor of the Wildcats. Washington drew a triple team. Open look. Quickly nails it. It's a three.
Well, Quickly's numbers from the three-point line are a little bit better than Hagan's, so he's a guy that will shoot it. Hagan's maybe a little better off the dribble.
Giroux floats it up and in. The American Athletic Conference sixth man of the year, Dejan Giroux. That ends a 7-0 Kentucky run.
Good to see him shooting the ball tonight, getting off to a good start because his numbers have been coming down with his minutes.
Washington connects. A long two-pointer for P.J. Washington.
Not showing any ill effects to my eye. Zion Williamson-like, isn't it, coming out after not playing for a period of time?
21-14 Kentucky. Davis has yet to get it going. Top step from Alley. Leads to a Giroux J.
Wow, look at them work on the glass. It's going to be Kentucky ball, I believe.
Kentucky shooting 56%.
And sometimes when guys come back when they haven't played for a period of time, they can be kind of like a distraction on the floor, especially on the offensive end. It has been just the total opposite in terms of their running things through Washington.
And another foul called. Tight defense there. Brady was using the body on Reed Travis. And 1-1 here for the Minneapolis native, who is hoping to go to the Final Four and play in his hometown. Second foul on Breon Brady. The rebounding numbers right now, Jimmy, are lopsided. 12-3 in favor of Kentucky. The Houston Bigs, power forward centers, 1 rebound. Travis comes up short. We check in with Jamie Erdahl.
Yeah, you mentioned inching closer to Minneapolis as Reed Travis playing in that hometown. He said he's taking it day by day. Emotionally, it could be a lot with the idea of being able to play in front of that hometown crowd. But at this point, he's trying to focus on the small picture and winning one game at a time.
Remember, didn't play in the NCAA tournament Jamie, with Stanford, so came to Kentucky with the idea that he would get this experience. Robinson, the blow by, he lays it in.
And Robinson with a good read. Just then on Reed Travis, because he had him lined up for a block on the left side. That's a perfect time to go to the opposite side to let the big guy just go drifting by you.
The 2 fouls on Brady. Chris Harris Jr. is back in for Houston. And it's a 5-point lead for Kentucky. Hero feeds.
Well, every time they touch in the blocks, they're getting double teamed. Nice deflection here. They save it? Yes, they do.
Intercepted by Houston.
Good work just then by Davis and Robinson.
Can Davis get it cooking here for the Cougars?
He may have to kind of force the action a little bit. He's got Washington guarding him over on the right, too.
Cross. Robinson leaves it inside, and Harris had it taken away. Break opportunity. Johnson to Hero for the easy lay-in.
Yeah, that's a 3-on-1 break because they lose it. Live ball turnover in the middle of the floor. You don't even have to think about getting into the middle of the floor because that's where the play started.
It matches Kentucky's largest lead. We approach 6 minutes to go in this first half.
Yeah, they're just not allowing Houston to run their sets.
Robinson penetrates, flips it up and in. Galen Robinson Jr. His dad played for Houston, was a 1,000-point scorer back in his day.
Tough shot, too, just then. Nothing easy.
Hero got bumped. Wow, no call on the outside. Davis closed the airspace. Opportunity for Hinton, switching hands.
Beautiful decision, too, by Hinton. Hero may have gotten hit. He was trying to at least buy a foul out there from the three-point line. A terrific release to the basket, though, and all of a sudden, Houston is one of these teams of the 4 here tonight, Ian, who has the ability to score quickly.
Yeah, very streaky on offense.
A lot of pushing down there, and they're going to get again. That time Hinton on Washington.
Hinton brings a physical mentality to the floor. And Kelvin Sampson said one day he will be a captain of this team.
Watch this, though. Washington is very good at establishing post position, and then he slides away from it and goes down. But those two guys are battling pretty good.
So it's Washington to the free throw line, 67% this season.
Doesn't seem and appears to be breathing too hard.
No. And it's been a lot of smiles for PJ. At practice yesterday, just didn't do a whole lot, so it was hard to gauge what Washington's role would be here tonight.
Yeah, he participated in practice yesterday with no defense. He probably spent the most time in the last 10 minutes of the practice working on some post-up moves with no defenders just to lift and land. And it seems okay now.
But landed on that right leg a lot more than both legs.
Oh, yeah. But he spread it out a little bit. Doesn't seem to be affected by it now, though.
Washington sits. We approach 5 minutes to go in this first half. Kentucky leads by 5. Both teams shooting it well. Wildcats at 56%. Houston at 50%.
Look at the spacing on the floor, too.
Robinson using the screen. Hinton rises up. Too strong. Good box out there by Reed Travis.
He really clears the board well defensively.
Extended action for quickly when Hagans picked up that second foul.
He probably sits the way quickly is playing right now. Probably going to sit to this 4.5 with a little bit of a lead.
Johnson lets it fly. Got it. A 3. Largest lead in the first half for Kentucky. It's 8.
I think Kentucky's mixing it up very nicely. They're looking to the blocks, not necessarily looking every possession, but it's worked because they have foul trouble on their side.
Johnson, the jab step, short on the J. Ball knocked back to the outside. Davis trying to create contact, missed it. Rebound, ripped down by Montgomery.
Boy, the Bigs are squeezed in the middle of the floor, meaning they're just right there waiting for the drives on the power side and also coming from the weak side.
This first half is flying by. We are under 4 minutes to go. Quickly, the overplay, the help there from Harris. Hero, quick cut. The floater is pure.
Good timeout by Houston. No choice but to call this timeout.
This game was tied at 12. Kentucky has gone on an extended 18-8 run. Fact of the matter is Kentucky is shooting lights out.
Yeah, having their way with them. And by the way, Houston has 9 fouls. They only have 8 field goals in this game.
Out of the timeout. Davis. It's a big defender against him. And he draws the foul.
Doesn't shy. He's not going to shy away, that's for sure.
And he's a great free throw shooter, 87%. Who delivered the Buick expectation-shattering performance of the day? Tune into Inside March Madness, presented by Buick, and find out. 6th team foul against Kentucky.
Davis with a total of 47 points in the 2 games in the NCAA tournament. Really lighting it up, has that ability to just really fire it up.
And the skill set is very diverse. He's not just a 3-point marksman. He can find cracks and get to the rim, and is certainly a pest defensively, leading the perimeter defense for Houston.
Well, defense has to step it up a notch right now. Kentucky is running the half-court sets through the post again.
Johnson fakes on a 3, ball movement, leads to Baker. Fend off, Baker missed it with an air ball.
Yeah, Baker's a 3-point shooter. A high percentage of his shots come from 3. Here they come. They're coming at you now. Pull them up. Count it. You see that coming, couldn't you?
Timeout, John Calipari.
I think he's talking about his team that last time out. Make sure we get a good defensive stance right here. Make Kentucky work for one.
Under 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Baker gives it up. Quick double comes to Travis. Hero swings it. Johnson penetrates, and it was partially blocked. Harris there to greet him. Ball knocked around. Travis, they're going to run out of time.
Yep. That was a very good defensive effort just then. As touched on, I was thinking, you know, John Calipari looking for a foul down low. There might have been some grabbing going on underneath the basket. But Kelvin Sampson sends the quick message to his guys. We need a stop on that possession.
This is a Houston team that jacks up a lot of threes. 19th in the country in 3-point attempts. 25.5 per game. Robinson missed it. Harris got a hand on it, and here comes Kentucky.
Kentucky's non-conference 3-point defense numbers were not nearly as good as their conference numbers.
Hero foul. Jarreau was tracking him the whole time, and a foul is assessed. Well, this was earlier. Corey Davis Jr., after the make, then came down on the other end and took a shot. There.
Yep. A little ringing in the ears there.
That is the 10th foul against Houston. And Tyler Hero does not miss.
How about the free throw numbers?
That is 37 in a row for Hero. 67 of his last 68. Montgomery in. Baker sits.
It is picture perfect every time he shoots the basketball. Not by chance, by practice.
Textbook.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, he barely hits the rim on his free throws.
32-24 Kentucky. We will hit 2 minutes to go. First half here in Kansas City.
They're switching on Davis with Montgomery.
Davis. It was online, but a little too strong.
Should be able to get that shot. If they're going to switch a big like Montgomery on him, why not go for it?
Kentucky patient here on the offensive end. Hero took a peek over at Calipari. Tried to drop it inside. Now Travis gets down on the floor, digs it out, leads to a Quickly jam. Emmanuel Quickly from downtown.
I'm going to tell you one thing that Travis really plays aggressively and hard. He really goes after it. That ball was up for grabs, and he just said to himself, I'm going to go get it and make something happen.
At practice yesterday, John Calipari challenged Emmanuel Quickly from long distance, had him shoot it over and over again, and he kept making them. Davis was tied up by Montgomery.
And they look to push again. 1
minute to go, first half. The lead is 11 for Kentucky. Auburn has already advanced. It could be an all-SEC Elite Eight matchup if Kentucky takes care of business against Houston. The Cougars have other ideas. 12 to shoot. Hero Montgomery gathers and scores.
The rebounding is just dominant right now. The overall numbers are big, but the offensive glass, they are just going to town. Kentucky is.
18-7.
And 5 offensive rebounds also.
Kentucky controlling the glass. There's a 3.5-second difference shot clock to game clock, and a 7-0 spurt for the Wildcats. Giroux with 7.
Gotta go in a hurry.
Giroux shake and bake. Puts it up.
Oh boy.
Dejan Giroux, a slick play to get some points on the board before the break. 37-26. Kentucky. AT&T at the half coming up. First half analysis. We'll get an update on Virginia Tech and Duke, plus the latest NCAA tournament news, all coming up on AT&T at the half.
Now you talk about timing a play pretty nicely. There it goes up that imaginary ladder to finish this one off.
John Calipari with our own Jimmy Erdahl.
Coach, you've been able to establish points in the paint. Why was that important against this opponent in particular?
Well, they're going to trap the post, which means you got to get rid of it and do it on the weak side. And we did a pretty good job. Emmanuel Quickly, like I talked about all week, was going to be huge in this game because he can make threes and he's got to let balls go. But I think we're playing pretty well defensively. Now we got 20 minutes. This team has not given up. What they've done all year has been in these kind of games, and they just keep coming.
What'd you see from P.J. Washington?
Really good. Really happy.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Jamie, end of the first half with Kentucky leading Houston 37-26. Much more still to come from Kansas City, Missouri. And we'll send you to AT&T at the half after this message and a word from your local station. Yeah, that change of pace has been the bread and butter for Houston throughout the season, and has led them to a 33-3 record and a tremendous season in the American.
Well, they're going to have to make it happen on the defensive end to get things started in the first 3 or 4 minutes of this half. And they come out with a little better intention on the ball right now. You can see that real good perimeter defense.
Hero, the sweeping move for 2.
Well, a little addition to his game as the season has worked its way through. A very good pull-up shooter, good 3 shooter, but the drives have gotten better and better.
Tyler Hero now with 10 points. Catch and shoot. Davis nearly wedged in there. It was close.
You were ready.
I was ready. Always ready for the wedgie.
A weekend wedgie.
Well, not quite. It's Friday.
That's the beginning of the weekend?
Well, for you it is.
But it is. It's always for me.
Johnson misses it. Nice effort. Montgomery. Travis comes away with it. And a fresh shot clock for Kentucky to work with.
Kid did not give Kentucky this much opportunity and extra shots. Very difficult when they start hitting the boards.
Hagan's playing with those 2 fouls. Hero forced to give it up.
Yeah, good no shot there by Hero.
Post up.
Usually double team this. Where are they?
Travis the bounce. Montgomery could not squeeze it. And Houston turns over Kentucky.
Just can't get by this wall though, Ian. Look at it. It's a constant wall when they come down the floor.
A Wildcat wall that John Calipari has set up. And P.J. Washington is getting ready to check in. Armani Brooks. Tough shot, rimming out and going the other way. Some pushing and shoving underneath as Brady got in there for the rebound. 3rd foul on Breon Brady. Coke is introducing delicious orange vanilla Coke. It's orange and vanilla and Coke. And delicious. So it's Fabian White who was in there with his 3rd. And White is going to stay on the floor. Hero off the rim.
Never thought that was going to miss from that distance for Hero.
Robinson trying to weave through traffic. Gets to the hole and he's fouled.
So they're going to force the action, Houston. They're going to continue to push this ball through the paint. They're going to try to get down the floor in a hurry before the bigs for Kentucky get to set up. You see the little delay through the legs. Nice crossover. So often you see that crossover just then in front of you, but you can do it through your legs, and it's just as effective.
And Jimmy, that's the 3rd foul on Ashton Hagans with 2:05 elapsed in this second half. Robinson shoots it at 66%. Quickly, who played well. John Calipari mentioned to Jamie Erdahl at halftime how impressed he was with Quickly and how big a role he thought he would play in this game because of his perimeter presence. Robinson has been a terrific facilitator for this Houston squad. He doesn't score a lot, but they've needed him to score more tonight.
Quickly was 2 for 2 to just hit your point iron from the three-point stripe in the first half.
Hero backs it up. Robinson swiping at the ball. Washington is back in. They send a double team.
That's a tough pass. Good step in, too, by Davis just then.
Off the diagonal feed, Davis intercepts. Brooks lines it up. Bottom, a three.
Cougar basketball. Get it and go. Spread the floor. Look for that open shot.
39-31, Kentucky. Brooks now with 8 points.
First half, when Washington was on the floor, they featured him.
Hero got a bump. Johnson feeding inside. Washington turns, gives it up. Travis off the double. Washington up high for the jam. Washington still has the lift.
How about the interior passing, too, by the bigs for Kentucky? One gets double teamed, he releases it. The other gets double teamed, he releases it.
10-point cushion for the Wildcats. Davis, the feed inside. Brady spins and tosses it away.
Wow. You hit on it. Watch it come right back to him now. Watch the elevation. Legs look good, finishes fine. A little bit of a glare.
The numbers on P.J. Washington, 10 points, 4 of 4 from the field in his return. Hero being overplayed by Robinson.
Yeah, Washington averages 15 on the season, so he's getting pretty close to his average with limited minutes.
And he's been very efficient. Foul called on Robinson out front, and Houston's frustration growing from the coach to the players on the floor. Watch Masters live for exclusive video of Amen Corner 15 and 16 and featured groups. Watch live on the CBS Sports app, CBSSports.com, and Masters.com.
Yeah, Houston has to be very careful, Ian, to make sure that they don't start reaching with the hands. The last thing they need is foul trouble. And foul trouble like they had in the first half in a hurry in the first 10 minutes or so.
Hero gives up his dribble. Tries to spin on Robinson, who's a good defender. Washington off the double. Shot clock winding down. Quickly for two.
Yep, that's the big guy. Travis over the top.
Reed Travis was trying to create some space for himself to rebound that miss. And a reaction from the Houston crowd here.
Good call to our left.
I would say a sarcastic one.
I would agree with you.
Facetious.
Yeah, a little bit of a takedown.
Kentucky up by 10. Houston trying to cut into it.
Hero a much better defender than he gets credit for, too.
Robinson lost it, and nobody touched it.
And they keep looking at the bigs, and it's kind of throwing them off their game.
Sounds like Okeke for now is doubtful to play for Auburn on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, it did not look promising for Okeke. Auburn and Kentucky so familiar with one another out of the SEC. Houston trying to make a move here against the Wildcats with 15-19 to go second half, and that'll help Corey Davis Jr., the gunner from three-point territory.
Yeah, what you forget about Davis is not only is he a good catch-and-shoot player from long range, but on the run, they're very, very good, and they look to spot up just like they did that trip. So especially with those rebounds kicking out.
Johnson in and out. It was halfway down. Strong board, Travis.
Boy, everybody catches it down low for Kentucky as being either double teamed or triple teamed. So they're going to have to make good judgments in terms of going straight up with it or kick it back out.
7-1 off the offensive glass in favor of the Wildcats. Hero, count it. Just a good-looking stroke.
Yeah, he's got a 4 or 5 inch size advantage over Robinson, so he knows that he can get the shot off. And I'll tell you, when you know you're not going to get your shot blocked, you can shoot it a whole lot better.
He also has long arms. He's got a 6'10" wingspan, and that helps him on the defensive end, as you alluded to earlier. Fabian White Jr. one-on-one with Washington. He'll test him. Off the back end. Too strong.
See, they're just not getting good looks.
Washington went down awkwardly, but he pops right up. And it's controlled by Kentucky. 43-34 Wildcats. 6 minutes gone by in the second half.
All the drifting, a little bit of a hole down there. Who they get?
Travis.
Yeah, right in the middle. He's moving a bit.
Robinson was trying to work around him, and Travis gets tagged with a personal.
Every trip to the middle of the floor is kind of like with the double team and the help. It's been an adventure. Even the guards when they're driving. The long length of Kentucky is really playing a factor defensively.
Baker back in. Quickly sits. So does P.J. Washington, and Higgins returns. John Calipari said, hey, maybe the PJ injury helped us because it allowed Keldon to play some four. Baker was used at the 3. Of course, they're not as good without PJ Washington. Push shot goes, Corey Davis Jr.
That was fairly well defended, too, by Hero on the left side. He cut him off from the baseline. But Davis has that ability from long and short to be able to get things going off the bounce.
He's in double figures, 10 points. He averages 17 per game. Hero over Robinson. That's an air ball.
Here's the extra dribble right into the middle of the floor. And a little floater. That's an interesting call, too. Hero, does he come up 2 feet short on a jump shot?
No.
Not very often, that's for sure. John Calipari getting the subs back in. Richards and Washington getting the bigs ready to sub.
Davis off the rim.
Nice
Rebound, tracked down. Good work by Nate Hinton.
Sure was. He got low to the floor to catch that off the easy early bounce.
They show Davis a double. He takes it in.
Oh, man, what a shot.
The flip nearly goes. Harris clears. And a new shot clock for Houston.
Davis is starting to take the load over, though, isn't he? He's really starting to get aggressive. That was a beautiful move that he just couldn't get the drop.
Robinson shifting gears. Corner pop White. Yes.
Nice drag. You drag all the Kentucky players into the middle of the floor. They were all loaded up, and Kelvin Sampson is fired up on the sideline.
He is in his 30th year overall as a head man. Montana Tech, Washington State, Oklahoma, Indiana. And he's gotten his team to within 5. A drought here for Kentucky. A 12-4 run for the Cougars. Richards in for the Wildcats. Higgins penetrates, gives it up. Richards, the baseline J, no. Rebound, Johnson for Kentucky.
Worked so hard. Kelvin Sampson's over there just cringing on that offensive rebound because he had his team ready to defend. Take a look at those 8 offensive boards.
Higgins draws a lot of defenders, so Johnson takes it to the cup. Missed it. Tip in goes. The length of Richards, 7'5" wingspan.
Yeah, he's got the size. He's got some power, too. In addition to that wingspan, he gets off the floor in a hurry. Offensive rebounds and second chance points. Adding up for Kentucky again.
45-38 Wildcats. Out of bounds. Houston will retain.
So you try to keep them off the glass. You just can't. It's a 24-13 lead off the boards. And good response by Washington. Double team and try to keep Davis from getting untrapped.
And a shot offline out of the timeout. And a foul to boot. The 3rd foul on Bryson Gresham. Nate Hinton heads to the bench for Houston. We have 11.5 to go in the second half. 3 fouls on White, 3 on Gresham, 2 on Brady. Those are the 3 bigs that Kelvin Sampson likes to use in rotation.
Sometimes they just throw it up against the glass to go get it. A little bit of a reach in after that wild shot just then by Johnson. He'll pick up the foul.
So team fouls, 4 on Kentucky, 3 on Houston.
I'd be surprised to see Kelvin Sampson come just with maybe a half-court trap just to break things up, change it up a little bit. Just to throw a variation in there.
Robinson couldn't find an opening. Davis gives it up. White, open look. Rebound gathered. Gresham saves. Brooks, a 3. Armani Brooks, dead on from the corner.
And Gresham continues to give them good numbers, and it just kind of ramps them up defensively. Led by Davis out front. Look at his defensive positioning.
The Kentucky lead is down to 4. And a foul inside with Gresham banging bodies against Nick Richards. That's number 4 on Gresham.
Good work, and you fill an open spot on the floor.
So Chris Harris Jr. will check in to spell Gresham. A junior replacing a sophomore. 4th team foul against the Cougars.
Johnson in the corner. He's going the opposite baseline this time.
Higgins, he shuffled the feet.
He sure did. He may have gotten away with that left arm leading also,
So he'll take the travel over the offensive foul. But that's 10 Kentucky turnovers. They turned it over just 9 times in the victory over Wofford.
Pretty well defended. Houston starting to get a little bit of a climb, a little bit of the momentum back in their strides at the half-court offense.
45-41 Kentucky.
Look at the double team. Can somebody come help and release?
Brooks comes to the ball, lost his footing. 10 to shoot. Robinson, straight line drive. Missed it on the inside, and Travis gobbles it up. And a foul given.
Yeah, I think they thought that White was hurt, and that's why Robinson grabbed. And yeah, White is a little banged up there with his left knee.
Limping just a bit. And Robinson called on the foul because he didn't want a break opportunity for Kentucky.
Yeah, this could have been an easily a 5-on-3 break. They make a decision there. It also gives them their 15th foul.
Wildcats up by 4. Who's going to step forward offensively for Kentucky?
Well, yeah, Washington in the blocks. They haven't touched it a whole lot. Here he is right now. Remember, he can hit that 15-footer.
Giveaway.
Yeah, miscommunication. Actually, a pretty good time to go backdoor for Hero.
Tracy Morgan, Tiffany Haddish are back in the TBS original series, The Last OG, premiering Tuesday, 10:30 p.m. only on TBS. Robinson to White.
See if he goes across, middle of the lane. White, good move.
He flipped it up but missed it. The rebound bounced through the legs. It sets up Davis. Misses on a 3-ball. The second half score is 15-8. Houston. Higgins the penetration. Hero on the move, picked up by Davis. Hero for 2. Splash.
Yeah, that's that rhythm jumper. Absolutely fabulous with that pull-up jump shot when he gets his legs in the rhythm of the dribble, but underneath him, he gets good lift on it.
And he's very crafty with that dribble, creating space with the jab step. 47-41 Wildcats.
Bad pass just then. Davis had to regroup, almost kicked it away.
Now he's fortunate that it wasn't a turnover. Robinson forces his way in. Can't finish it.
Too much traffic with the bigs. They're affecting every drive.
A loop ahead for Johnson. And Hero wisely backs it out.
The Davis-Hero matchup is a good one, no question about it. Here he comes off the screens.
Hero, one-on-one.
They'll jump over you to get your shot off, too.
7 to shoot. Clear it out. Higgins.
That might have been a step. Yeah, it was.
A travel.
Good call from the officials.
He tried a little bit of a Euro there.
And look at the bigs. They just keep becoming a factor in Washington. And then we'll take a look at Hero. Watch, he's going to set himself up. One little dribble away. Good elevation. Sweet shot.
Second half turnovers. Kentucky has coughed it up 6 times. Houston just 2 turnovers, but the shooting numbers are not up to par. 39% overall for the Cougars. 47-41. Houston only down by 6, though they haven't scored in 3 minutes. Dejan Giroux is in. Rep lines it up. Short.
Yeah, the open jumpers they're getting are not put down, and the drives to the basket are being so contested that it's making them think twice as to whether to drive through there. I think you still have to go after it. Maybe a little down screening action.
Houston has missed its last 5 shots. Washington drives. Missed it with the left hand. Travis flies in for the rebound. but it never hit the rim. Shot clock is down to 7.
They just recognized it now.
Quickly, off balance, won't count. Foul called on the floor. Jamie, an impressive resume this year for Houston. They have wins over Oregon and LSU and Cincinnati and UCF, Oklahoma State, St. Louis, Utah State. Talking about a bunch of NCAA tournament teams. And when we talked to Kelvin Sampson, asked him, well, when did you know that you maybe had something? He said, pretty early in the season, you don't know how good you are, and teams don't know how bad they might be, because everybody's feeling one another out. That BYU game opened a lot of eyes.
Yeah, and how well they did on the road in their conference, too. With their 9 games, they were 8-1, and that kind of tilted them in the favor that they were a pretty good basketball team, as Hero misses a free throw down there, right?
And that just doesn't happen.
Oh,
the spin, Giroux, blocking foul. Ray Travis ended up on the hardwood.
John Calipari, I was just going to say, he's playing official over there, making the call to travel. Let's see if he gets it right. A lot of contact, too.
Third foul on Reed Travis. And it's going to send Giroux to the free throw line.
I don't think he walked, and I think that was a pretty good call. I think he's talking to you when he's doing that.
To me?
Waving you off.
Giroux shoots it at 69%. Foul trouble. We've documented Houston's issues. Higgins and Travis now with 3 apiece. Houston is 8 of 10 at the free throw line after that miss by Giroux.
I think a little more pick and roll action is going to happen with Houston up front. There's that weave, looking for somebody to crank one through the middle of the floor.
Hero doesn't take the 3. Washington drives. Wow. And it's fouled.
Yeah, he got hit. It looks like he's moving pretty well to me, Washington. We've documented that all evening long.
He was spry.
Here he comes around his corner, gets that right shoulder in, tucked in away, and gets the defender away.
8th team foul against Houston. Kentucky is 6 of 8 at the free throw line. Washington is now 2 out of 3. Richards back in. He replaces Reed Travis. And for Houston, Nate Hinton sits. Harris on the floor with Brooks, White, Giroux, and Robinson. Washington misses on a pair.
Here they come, looking to push as fast as they can to beat them down the floor, but Kentucky's balance is pretty good defensively.
Giroux.
Nice look to Robinson.
They'll settle in here with 6:32 to go.
Giroux's holding his left hand. He came down awkwardly on that.
Giroux drives. Doesn't take the shot. Instead, Brooks will. Hero got his hands on it. Giroux controls it for a moment.
Who wants it?
Scrap for it.
Eventually, they got to blow a whistle.
And possession arrow to Houston.
Yeah. That was the 2nd time that Giroux went down. He's still holding that left hand. Goes up for grabs. See him, number 13. Watch, he goes back down, trying to get rid of the ball. Good effort by everybody. 3-4 guys involved with it.
Houston has missed its last 6 shots. They're shooting 29% in the second half. Giroux has been flexing that left hand. He grabbed the wrist area.
Yep.
47-42 Kentucky. We approach 6 minutes to go.
There's that pick and roll. They don't go with it.
Brooks lost it. Tight defense there from Johnson, and they're going to have to call a timeout. Disjointed set.
Good timeout, though.
5-point game in Kansas City. Winner goes to the Elite 8. With 9 to shoot, we are under 6 minutes to play. Robinson with 5. Brooks fires.
Boy, it had a funny rotation on it, too, that ball in the air. But nothing but the bottom just then. And once again, look at Davis, the leader out front right here defensively.
4th 3 of the night for Armani Brooks. It's 47-45. Kentucky. Hero. A lot of contact. It's an offensive foul on Hero as Robinson absorbs the hit.
So some are going to say that the defender is moving just then, and he is, and he's allowed to move on that. Who creates the contact? Is it the offense or the defense? I would say that it was Hero's left shoulder that comes in, and here comes Brooks over the top. A huge bucket prior to that for the Cougars.
7 second-half turnovers for Kentucky. This is a 2-point game. Davis.
You're allowed to get somebody who's open. There you go.
No luck inside. Foul called. Fabian White Jr. is headed to the free throw line.
So there's the play of a senior guard just then with Davis. And he doesn't rush into his play. He gets there, and what does he do? He gets Washington to bite defensively, and then the guys aren't ready that trip, and there's an easy call for the officials. But you notice the difference. The last few drives they've had were almost from so far out that the Kentucky wall was set up. That time, not time enough.
Fabian White Jr., a Atascocita native from Texas. 1 out of 2. He has cut the Kentucky lead to 1.
Young guards versus old guards. Will it play into this? Young team, very young for Kentucky, obviously.
Now this has been a long scoring drought for Kentucky. Washington passes out of the double. The repost. Washington, tough delivery. P.J. Washington scores on the interior.
Ryan, that was beyond tough, that shot. That was a twister, putting it through.
49-46, Wildcats. White trying to give it up. Davis comes to the ball, runs into Washington.
The Washington wall.
Davis, a force. Rebound, Harris saves it.
Wow, a little tip by Hero just then.
New shot clock. Hot hand? No. Armani Brooks missed it from long range. It's out of bounds.
I think that should go possibly the other way. Can anybody help them from an official standpoint?
Jeff Clark will come over to talk to Chris Rastatter about it. They're going to change it.
That's good work. They can't go to the monitor.
The Houston bench was irate, as were the players. It was Hagans at the last moment.
Who guided it right through. Good work by the officials to get that right.
And the way Hagans went after the ball indicated he did touch it last.
I'm kind of guilty. Let me go see if I can get it.
Jalen Robinson Jr. will trigger in.
Little corner Jay.
Brooks. Oh, yeah! Armani Brooks from downtown.
Nice call. They ran that in practice a half a dozen times yesterday to make sure they get a good look on an out of bounds. It's a simple play, but when you execute it well.
Johnson off the mark. Rebounded by Davis. Houston can take the lead.
Oh, they really look at the push with a tie score. Now they slow it down a touch. Robinson
looking for some movement here. Davis watched by Hero. 15 to shoot.
Neither of these two teams are going to back off either. That's why this just under 4 minutes will be sensational.
Davis curls. Wow. Oh, the layup goes. Corey Davis Jr. Creativity.
How about the clutching of the basketball just then and reloading after he goes through the lane looking for contact.
It is a 10-2 run. Houston in front, 51-49.
And a little hand check there, 2 out front.
And it's Fabian White Jr. who fouled P.J. Washington.
It's not a high-scoring game, but it's been an exciting one. Brooks goes to the deep corner to bury a shot on the inbounds pass. And watch this one. Down and reload on the way down.
4th foul called on Fabian White Jr. And P.J. Washington goes to the free throw line. So it's Duke, Michigan State, Sunday on CBS.
Classic.
Auburn has already advanced here in KC. Washington hits on the first. The fact that Washington has played and played so effectively for Kentucky has been an immense story. Did not suit up last week with a left foot injury.
He averaged about 29 minutes a game throughout the course of the season. He's probably in the 23 range right now.
14 points on 5 of 6 from the field. We are knotted up at 51 apiece.
This is where the space into the floor. Wow, look at this.
Brooks! He sticks it from deep.
Boy, Brooks didn't even give him a chance to totally space out the floor.
54-51. All right, he hit that one from Kansas.
There you go. Thank you.
Recovering both sides. They don't look.
Nice pass.
Quickly. And a foul called.
I think they got Gresham on the floor as that shot was in the air.
Brooks now with 20 points. 5 3-pointers in the second half.
The curl here. And look at this. Oh, you just stand there and stand still shoot. They catch and shoot as well as anybody in college basketball. I'd say that's a pose.
Reed Travis goes to the free throw line. Double bonus here for Kentucky. Gresham is fouled out. So Bryson Gresham with the quota. And White is playing with 4 fouls. Travis, a 74% shooter. This is why he came to Kentucky. With this experience. And he has cut the Houston lead to 1.
And the Houston defense is really ramped up in the second half of this game, clamping down on Kentucky. Let's see what they do here. Remember, this is a team that likes to catch and shoot. Watch out of the post. Here he comes.
Oh, way off. That was a heat check for Brooks. He just pointed to his chest, indicating his mistake.
Yeah, because he was flying to his left just then. You don't know how difficult that is to reload with strength.
Washington short. Out of bounds. White tried to tap it to his teammate Harris, and Kentucky will hold on to it.
So Washington gets the ball in the post. I wouldn't say that's a short shot because of lack of elevation or strength or jump into that shot. He just comes up short on it.
Kentucky shot 56% of the first half and shooting 32% of the second half. Travis, kick. Hagan's got a little bump. Plenty of time on the shot clock. We approach 2 minutes to go. A 1-point game. The acceleration, foul call. Hagens is going to the line.
Smart play by Hagens just then. Remember, he's not the three-point shooter out there, so he drives it and has a good chop. Easy call for the officials.
Chris Harris Jr. will pick up the personal. And Ashton Hagens, the freshman from Carterville, Georgia, has tied this game up.
75% on the season.
Mr. Basketball in the state of Georgia, originally committed to the University of Georgia, reclassified, and ended up at Kentucky. And it gives the Wildcats a 1-point lead. Giroux back in.
With the taped left hand, too. Left wrist, I should say.
And Chris Harris Jr. to the bench.
They like Giroux's ability to put it on the floor and make something happen going towards the paint. I think that's a good substitution.
2 minutes to play in Kansas City. 55-54 Kentucky.
Here he is.
Giroux one-on-one with Washington. Drives. Oh, Giroux! That was crafty.
And that's why they put him in the game. They love his ability to put it on the floor and make things happen.
Houston up by 1. Hagens penetrates.
Somebody had to help him. Good job there by Johnson.
Garrett loops it inside. Hard double comes on Travis. Whoa. And a travel. Turnover, Kentucky.
He felt Brooks coming at him from the middle of the floor, and did a little quick shuffle. So he was getting ready to make a move here. Yeah, he does. You see him lift it up. He didn't go anywhere with it, but he did a little up, up, up 3 times.
They are bringing the double team on every entry pass.
Calipari wanted a foul before that play. Was a travel.
Houston up by 1. Davis makes his move on the drive. Oh, the teardrop goes! Corey Davis Jr. puts Houston in front by 3.
What a confident bunch right now. Calipari has to call timeout, think things over. What a drive in terms of getting in traffic. Just check this out. Watch him reload it and get up higher than the big can go get it. What a marvelous drive under those circumstances.
Houston has battled back. They lead it 58-55.
This is where they like to go to Washington on the blocks.
Washington turns, buries it, and and the foul. A chance to tie at the free throw line for the Wildcats.
One of the things that Washington has done all season long, we've talked about him getting better, but watch him body up, get to the middle of the lane and finish it off. So understanding the scouting reports, you got to know that they're going to get it to him. Where was the double team? It was late. He went quickly off the one bounce. A sensational call by John Calipari to get it to one of their strengths.
Jimmy Fabian White Jr. has fouled out. White is out. Gresham is out. Two of Kelvin Sampson's bigs are done for the night with 55.8 to play.
You could almost play a 2-for-1 right now if you want, if you're Houston, and make sure you take a good shot, though. You don't want a 2-for-1 with a bad shot.
Washington misses at the free throw line.
Nice rebound and kick.
And it's saved by Giroux. 58-57 Houston.
Comes that screen. They like the high screen, and now he backs it out.
We're down to 37 seconds to play. Davis wants to do it himself. Denied! P.J. Washington! A big-time block. Kentucky down by 1. Hero. Oh! Tyler Hero connects for 3.
Oh, the defensive effort by Kentucky. Their length coming into play as it had in the first half. They step it up. And how about Hero? Just remarkable in terms of the way this freshman has stepped up all season long to shoot it.
Tyler Hero is a machine.
He sure is, and that's a defensive machine right there, timing that play perfectly and understanding the scouting report. And look at Hero. He couldn't wait, and I mean he couldn't wait for that ball to get to his fingertips.
A big moment, and the freshman delivers.
Now the question becomes whether the guards for Kentucky will stay at home. And let's see who ends up getting the ball to bring it up. Robinson's taking it out. He's probably the guy who's going to try to make it happen. He's a very, very competitive guy. But they switch over right now to Davis.
No timeouts. 20 seconds to go.
Wow, a clear out for him.
Davis leans in. No good!
They got a foul.
And they foul Hero with 13.7 to play.
Boy, did Kentucky fall for this play, Ian, and he could just not come up. Nobody home at first. He goes around the corner, and actually a pretty good defensive job there by Higgins, who doesn't look at this, though. Nobody is home. A one-on-one move, and Higgins kind of squeezes on him and cuts the angle down along the baseline.
Ashton Higgins, who is an excellent defender and is so composed for a freshman, held his ground against the senior Corey Davis Jr., and now it's Hero at the free throw line. 13.7 on the clock.
And Houston has to get ready. He doesn't miss very often, so think it through. Make sure you block out in case he does.
Oof. The lead is 3.
The way Houston can push the ball up the floor, they could get it down the floor and get 2 on this play also.
Trying to make this a 2-possession game.
Unless they sense in a hurry as they're coming down. A good timeout by John Calipari. That allows a sub to come in. Not a timeout, but a substitution to come in.
Baker checks in. 13.7 to go. Houston down by 4. Robinson out for Brooks. A deep one from Brooks. Off the rim, no. Rebound snatched by Washington. Hero will dribble out the clock. A classic in Kansas City. And Kentucky holds on. The Wildcats advance to the Elite 8. And Houston's storybook season is over. 62-58, Kentucky. The Cougars had chances. P.J. Washington with the block to trigger it the other way for the Wildcats.
Biggest defensive play of the game just then to close things down. And here's a pretty decent shot by Hero. The youngster stepping up from long range.
Houston clawed back against this Kentucky squad. But Kentucky ends the game on a 7-0 run. And they're moving on to the Elite 8. We go to Jamie Erdahl.
There is so much joy and jubilation down here celebrating P.J. Washington's outing to send Kentucky to the Elite 8. Watch his foot, exactly. PJ, I'll ask you, how's that foot feeling now?
It's feeling good. I mean, I don't feel no pain right now. There's a lot of adrenaline. It's probably going to be hurting later, so I'm going to get home, get some treatment, and just get ready for the next game.
Coach, you had a pretty good lead at the half, but they challenged you down the stretch. What closed this game out, especially in the final minute there?
Well, we gave up threes. Keldon, I had to get him out of the game, the poor kid. Then he took a tough shot. I'm like, what are you doing? But we went back to posting him and Reed, and PJ makes that three-point play, makes those free throws. We make a nice three, but they don't go away. I mean, Houston is an outstanding team, and we were lucky to win, but we're happy.
What does it say about this young man next to you that he had to sit and watch 2 wins last weekend, but come out the way he did tonight?
We don't win today if he doesn't play. He did not go through the shoot-around today. His foot was bothering him.
Breaking news.
And I just didn't know if he was playing. I asked him right before, are you going to be able to go? He said, I'm going. I said, second half, do you want to start? Nope, bring me off the bench, I'm fine. So, team player, he done great. Really proud of him.
You face a familiar face in the SEC foe in Auburn. How do you feel about that?
They're playing great. Wow, are they playing good.
All right, thanks, Coach. PJ, how does it feel to send this team off to another Elite Eight?
Feels great. I mean, I've never been to Elite Eight, so just to be here with all these teammates and beautiful fans, I mean, I can't thank God enough.
So it sounds like you weren't sure if you could go, but what was the deciding factor for you?
I had to. I didn't want to let my teammates down. I knew if I was in the game, I felt like we had a chance to win, so I just sucked it up and came out to play.
How did Houston particularly challenge you guys tonight, and how did you overcome it?
They fought in the second half, made shots, rebounded the ball really well, and made us take dumb shots on the offensive end. So they're a really great team, and I'm just happy we came out and got a win.
Just so we hear it one more time, I'll ask you again, what's your pain level, 0 to 10?
Right now, I can't feel nothing.
There you go. Congratulations.
Thank you.